Total Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. It's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 3-1-3 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go for stuff. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Say break out the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Reaching new height never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 3-1-3 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
Detroit basketball. What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show with the boss. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. Boss, how you feeling after that win?
I feel good. Just nice to get a win. We're at 49 now. We're close to 50, so just felt good. And yeah, proud of the team. A little bit concerned about Cade, but I saw at the end, I think LeVert and Ausar ran into each other pretty bad too. Duncan got elbowed in the face.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. So sounds like Cade, they did the right thing. I think whether it was major or minor, he should, this is a good game to just call it, not risk anything. Yep. Hopefully he's good and we get an update soon. So happy for the win.
For sure. So for anybody who did not catch this game, the Pistons actually bounced back from their loss to the Raptors last game, and they beat the Wiz in their first of 2 straight road games, 130-117. They now improved to, as boss mentioned, 49 wins and 19 losses on the regular season with 14 games remaining. And as far as the injury report, we got an update on Stu. Isaiah Stewart, he missed last game. Stu, guys, has a grade 1 calf strain, and he is going to be reevaluated in a week. So he'll be out for at least a week and probably a little bit longer depending on that reevaluation. So that's not great news, but it's a good opportunity, like boss mentioned, for guys like Paul Reed. Just a good opportunity for JV to get him kind of involved more with the playoffs coming. And it just makes more sense to rest him. When you consider the Wizards were without pretty much their whole team again. Trae Young was out, Alex Sarr was out, Keyshawn George was out, Cam Whitmore was out. A lot of guys were missing for the Wizards, so this was a good time to take care of your business, as we always say. And then also, Cade Cunningham, as she mentioned as well, guys, he left the game in the first quarter and did not return after Trey Johnson fell on him from behind as they were trying to get a loose ball. So no update, I don't think, as of right now, but I don't think it's going to be anything serious. I think it's more so just precautionary, just to make sure that he's good, because the last thing we need is for Cade to get hurt, this late in the season.
Yeah, it really looked like, at first I was worried about knee, just because when you're bending and twisting, but they said initially back spasms, which of course can be uncomfortable, but it seems like it's because it was a twisted, awkward kind of position that he got landed on. And I'm just thankful it's not the knee. So we have a couple games coming up here. I mean, we have the Wizards again, and then Friday is the Warriors without Steph. So, and I think Draymond was out there last game. I don't know if he's still out. So it's not, obviously games we want to win, but nothing that, it's not like we're playing the Celtics or something and we need to fight them for position or anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So he should be, just take precautious, just like you said with Stu too. I think I saw that, of course, we did the Isaiah Stewart Learning Center fundraiser last month.
Mhm.
And I think I saw that a bunch of the kids that are involved in that are coming to on Friday. I'm only a little bit bummed that they don't get to see Stu. That's the only reason. I mean, they don't get to see their Stu play, but he'll be, there and, maybe able to interact with them a little more. But that kind of, when I saw that, I was a little bit bummed because it's like, you want to see, Stu play.
At least he'll still be there, That's the main thing.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Absolutely.
So guys, the starters for this game was the Pistons usual, starting 5 of Cade, Dunk, Ausar, Tobias, and JD. And guys, the poll is now live. So as you guys probably figured, we had to change it tonight because once again, JD broke it. So our poll for tonight is who is the unsung hero of this game? And that poll is now live. So we will check back on that and see what you guys thought about that. Got a lot of candidates, but we'll see how you guys fall on that. So boss, let's get, I was about to get to initial, but we just had a super chat coming from our dog, Dom. I was waiting on him. I was like, what's he doing over there? So guys, Dom coming through says, could have been an easier night or could have been easier tonight. Just feed Duren even more. They literally didn't have a big. It wasn't on purpose, but Trey Johnson was about to make a brother put a hit out on him for rolling up on Cade. Yeah, that's what we were saying because I remember boss was ticked. Like she didn't even like, bro, what are you doing? It just looked like they were both trying to get it, and he was behind Cade, and Cade kind of went forward. And he kind of ran into him a little bit. So I don't think it was on purpose or anything like that. Just unfortunate, but thankfully it was nothing serious for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't, I don't think there was obviously any malicious intention, but it did feel a little bit like a young player with literally nothing to lose because there's no postseason. And then, Cade, because it's still, it was a loose ball, but Cade was in front of him. So
it wasn't egregious like the Orlando one on Jade or nothing like that. But yeah.
Right. But it was a little bit scary, especially like looking back. Seeing the replays, I'm like, yeah, that wasn't anything reckless. But when you see it in person, you're like, oh my goodness. So, yeah, I do agree with that. And also I agree that it could have been easier tonight, but I think it was, again, the battle of the shooting guards. We saw 12 guys when Cade was out, we saw 11. So we still saw some pretty interesting rotations. Even Wu only got 5 minutes. So I think it was just another, like we predicted, just another game of battle of the shooting guards. And I think they also made good cases for themselves again tonight. So at least pretty equal to cases in different areas. So yeah.
Appreciate you, bro, as always, man. If you have more comments you want to share, go ahead and pop them in there for us. We got you. All right, guys, let's go ahead now and get to some initial thoughts in this game. And boss, I will let you tee it off. What did you see in this game that stood out to you?
Yeah, we had kind of a slow start, but it just felt like we were, the Wizards just came out excited to play. It didn't look like we were doing anything necessarily bad. We took some good shots that weren't falling. Almost just felt like a little bit of a warm up. Then we, got back into it, went on a couple of runs. I would say the second quarter was my least favorite quarter. It was just really bad defensive rotations. Like guys left wide open. The Wizards were able to pass the ball and move the ball every possession. So I didn't like that because no matter where you are in this team, like you need to play defense. It's our identity. So there's just some miscommunications, but it's also because there are still some of these lineups that haven't played together. Like, yeah, we've had a deep bench that we've been able to play throughout the season, but you throw in Huerter, you take out Wu, you take out Cade and Stu, like there's still lineups out there that haven't played meaningful minutes together. So it is just a little bit about learning each other. So, and then we kind of took off. I didn't, love the ending to the game, how they kind of came back a little bit, but I wasn't worried at all. Which I have been in other games against the Wizards. And like I mentioned last show, like the Wizards they have a lot of really talented shooters. They can score. They have high scoring games. They're closer to the ones usually in 120, 130, like we were tonight. They still don't pull it out. They're not great at finishing, but they have a lot of offensive weapons. I think that the biggest things they lack right now is just size in like centers and just a little bit of structure, because really a lot of their guys could play like, point, wings, shooting guards. So I think that's what, but they can all shoot, and they did
They
that
got
tonight.
like
They have a lot of
4
young
or 5
cats.
guys between like 6'6" and 6'8".
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, exactly. I mean, even their center was 6'7" tonight, which we
Yep.
did the right thing. And Duren, you know, we fed him, and he had his career high tonight. JD, so I think 36 points. So that's exciting. And yeah, you could say it's just against the Wizards or whatever, but we played the Wizards before and he hasn't gotten a career high. So he stepped up in the absence of his co-all-star. So I like to see that. But yeah, the Wizards keep it interesting. I think that, you know, they've been kind of at the bottom for a long time. And you know, us and the Spurs were at the bottom 2 years ago and have turned it around. And I just think the Wizards are close to that, which is a couple tweets, truly.
Being one of those teams. Okay.
Yeah.
Dom coming back around says, also, Duren got to stop with the palms in the air, whether he got fouled or not. Get back on D. Yeah. It's really been getting on my nerves the second half of the season, even though he's been playing so well. I know, bro. I can't even argue it. I talked about it before, a couple shows back, where, you know, I pay attention to all the times when he does get smacked and doesn't do anything, because it's like he gets hacked a lot. But at the same time, you gotta play through it, especially in the playoffs when the game hopefully gets more physical. You know, a lot of those calls he may get a lot less, right? So we can't afford to have him doing that, especially when guys have shown, like big men have been kind of getting behind him sometimes when he does that, and that allows him to get back, you know, before he can set up defensively. So I'm with you, bro. Like it's all part of the growth for him. He's 22. For him to be doing what he's doing for us on the court at this age I don't think anybody expected is like to this rate. So like any young player, he's got some things he's got to improve on. And I think that's just one of them. It's just learning how to play through it, because he could have had 40, 45 points tonight had he gotten more of those foul calls, but you're not always going to get them. So I think your point is taken, bro. He's got to just continue to just play through it and focus on his game and just dominate the boards and just keep playing.
Yeah. And I think he went through a good phase, because I think this was an issue earlier in the season, and then we didn't notice it as much. And now it's coming back. So I don't know if it's just a frustration thing a little bit, or, you know, post All-Star break, wanting that respect, you know.
Yeah, true.
But I do think, especially with Stu gone, and yeah, they usually play in different rotations and not on the floor together, but you still gotta, as our big guy, gotta go set the defensive tone. So, you know, just like Stu, we talk about how we never see Stu complain ever.
Right.
And so if JD can just, you know, figure out to play through it and get back, and he had a couple plays where he was able to get back. But yes, I do agree. When it's become noticeable, that's when you know it's a problem again. You're just like, oh, well,
it's definitely there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's definitely a thing. Like like your eyes aren't deceiving you, bro. Like we all see it. We all see it for sure. So it's something you got to work on. I want to get to this from Derek, because Derek was actually at the game tonight. He said, coming from the game right now, it was more Pistons fans than Wizards fans there. Yeah, did you guys hear? Obviously we weren't there. Did you hear the Detroit basketball at the free throw line? That was funny. That was hilarious. So it's cool to see us translating to different cities.
And the middle school was there.
Right.
That was cool to see. So.
And then Derek says, Daniss was an absolute dog. Yeah, we're going to get to him for sure, bro. Let us know what you saw up close and personal with him there at the game, and if it was your first time seeing the Pistons this year or seeing Daniss live this year. Let us know. Yeah. All right, boss. For me, like coming into this game, I was just like, these are two absolute dubs the Pistons have to go get. Like, I know the Wizards are up and coming young team. We're the best team in the East. And at this point in the season, you got to stack dubs. So give them their respect. Don't overlook them, but just come out and take care of your business, as we always talk about. So I wanted to see them hit first in this game, set the tone with their defense, establish the style of play. And just like last game, they came off flat. They came off flat. They were getting good shots early. They just weren't knocking them down. Tobias had a couple, he didn't fall. Dunk had a couple that wouldn't fall. But because of that, they weren't getting back on defense. The transition defense early was just not really there. And that's kind of been a trend lately. So I just want to see the Pistons just try to focus more so on just setting the tone early, jumping on teams early, especially teams you're better than. Don't let them hang around like they did. They were only up, I think, 6 at the half. So, just 2 games back against I believe it was the Grizzlies, the Pistons gave up 35 points in the first quarter, right? Last game, they gave up 33. Tonight, they gave up 32. In the last 2 games, or the last 2 of the last 3 were depleted teams, right? So that's not how you want to start. If you're the Pistons, if you're a defensive team, you want to start leading with your defense instead of just trading baskets. So, for me, a win is a win. I'm not going to complain about a win, but I am hoping still, like, as we get closer to the playoffs now, which is only, 14 games away and then some days. I just hope we start seeing the Pistons starting games much better so they don't find themselves in these dogfights. It wasn't a dogfight tonight, thanks to the third quarter, but just finding themselves at the start of the second half, having to make sure you remind them of who they are. Just take care of the game early so it doesn't have to get to that point. So that's what I'm looking for the last 14 games.
Yeah, same. And I'm always happy when they make adjustments, and they obviously made it at halftime. Just something that lacked last time. So we came out and did have a great third quarter, but I do agree, like, we need to get back off. And again, like, the way we started wasn't necessarily tough. It was just like, it was like a defensive tone thing, because on offense, our shots aren't always going to go in, especially knowing us. Like, we need to really get into a flow. And something, we do have them on Thursday, and Trae Young is back for the Wizards. He's just not playing back-to-backs right now, and the Wizards played last night. So there's a possibility he plays on Thursday. And, he doesn't have the weapons that he had on the Hawks, and he's still getting used to this team. But he's been difficult to compete against for the Pistons the last few years. So that is just another reason why we need to come out and set our tone early, because we don't want him getting hot or, him making any connections either. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I was encouraged by the third quarter. I know I was saying, like, don't want to wait till then to really put the team away, but I was still encouraged by what I saw in that third quarter. Because we saw the nasty dogs come out tonight, boss. The nasty dogs were unleashed, let off their chain. And that's really what blew the game open, though, in that third quarter, was that unit. Daniss, Ron, Wu, B-Ball Paul, even the guards who were vying for that backup shooting guard spot, all three of them, Caris, Huerter, and Sasser, they all kind of got involved in their own way. So in that third quarter, they just kind of showed more toughness, more grit than the Wizards. They play with more pace than the Wizards. They move the ball around more than the Wizards, and they just kind of took the game over, just getting back to their style. But I thought that third quarter was indeed the difference, and I thought Daniss Jenkins actually kind of led that charge.
Agreed. I completely agree. And again, that kind of, when you think about, our bench and stuff and our bench defenders, Wu is someone who comes to mind. And again, he only played 5 minutes, and I think in the first half. So I think, again, it was just more of a challenge to the shooting guards, because whether this is JB's plan or not, I like the fact that they're getting minutes out there to not only, get comfortable shooting and get into a shooting rhythm to help finish out the season, but to also, figure out their strengths and weaknesses on defense. They still have time to make slight adjustments to defend, certain teams. And that's what they'll probably work on in practice and everything coming up. So I think it just gives again, an opportunity for some of the guys who just to grow their roles a little bit, because it really is going to be, as we're already play as a team, but it really is a team effort in the playoffs. So
Right. This is funny. Scooby Stack said, did you guys notice how Duncan Robinson was up front and center ready to show face this time when the little scuffle started? I did see that, bro. Yeah, because he kind of talked about that Old Man on 3 interview, how he was like, he wasn't trying to make it look like he really didn't have much to say about it other than that, it just looked bad. But I did notice tonight he was right there. He was right there, So we know he's a good team guy. We know he's there for his guys. He just doesn't like getting involved in that stuff unnecessarily. But I did notice that Scooby Snack. I thought that was actually hilarious, because he probably was getting a lot of flack from a lot of people about what we saw last time against Charlotte. So let's really quickly, boss, take a look at some of the numbers and just see if they reflect the way the Pistons want to play. So let's start with points in the paint. 68-44, which is exactly what you want to see in this kind of game against this team missing so many guys. So that's huge. Transition points, they didn't have a ton. They only had 16, but they only allowed the Wizards to have 9. So I'm cool with that. Rebounding, 50-35. Huge advantage. Once again, that kind of works hand in hand with the paint that we talked about, just dominating, the boards and dominating that position in front court. So that's good. The stocks were the same, 12-12. But here's the biggest key for me, 68 bench points. That's the difference in the game. That's the difference in the game, which is, it has been for this team, most of the season, where it's like the second unit, those guys come in and really change the game. So I thought, even though it's the Wizards, my focus now is just playing to your identity. And I thought that tonight, even though I'm not going to jump for joy over a window over the Wizards, right? Better team. But it's just still good to see us still trying to play to who we are and not trying to win these games despite not playing to our identity. So I thought overall they played to who they want to be for most of this game.
I would almost, and this, is don't take me too literally on this. Don't check numbers, but I would argue that the Wizards offense is almost a little bit better than ours in terms of producing numbers. So it does show just, and so, because everyone, you can kind of rely on. I do want to say those numbers that you said obviously speak volumes. I think that 44 points in the paint for the Wizards is still a little bit too high when they didn't have anybody big.
That's true. No, that's true.
Still a little bit too high. But, even just, 68-38 would have sufficed. That's just 6 points. But, and I do want to say that 6 guys on our team scored in double digits today. Usually it's closer to 3 is the average. Usually it's like a 20 plus for Cade, 20 plus for Duren, and then a 17, 18 for, Tobias or whoever steps up, maybe 3 to 4. So 6 guys did score in double digits. So we do love to see that. Everybody who played tonight scored. Everybody who played tonight grabbed a board. So you love to see that as well. I did hear, though, I think, was it in the third quarter that they were shooting? I think in the first half, the Wizards shot 49%. So that also just shows, like, I think that I'm curious to see what the second half is then, because, well, let's see what overall they shot. Oh, yeah, overall they shot 49%.
Oh, the Wizards did? Okay.
The Wizards did. And we shot 51%. So we were, a little bit better on it. And Duren's a huge reason for that number. But that also just goes to show, again, I think that they do have some they had 5 guys in double digits tonight, 4 with over 16 or more. So I do think we need to be, especially Thursday, I would like to see, I think our biggest adjustment just needs to be defense and either shutting down the ball movement to begin with or forcing them to take shots they don't want to take. Because some of their shots were, a little tougher, farther threes, a couple spin moves I saw from Champagne. But otherwise, they were just able to get, to the rim or able to pull up. It's a little too easy for them to get in their rhythm. So I agree. And they have a lot of guys, again, I like Will Riley. I've always liked Carrington. Nice. I like Koulibaly, but he was out tonight. Hardy made an impression on me. And then Will Riley, too. Obviously, I think he'll be him and Trey Johnson. And they have a lot of they have a lot of talent. Yeah. So whether they'll probably keep 3 or 4 to help build around with the vets like Trey and Anthony Davis. But a couple of those guys I'm curious to see if any are free agents or something, because I wouldn't mind another young shooter if he, has already developed his shot. So
it hasn't Hardy kind of bounced around a little bit. I think he played with the Mavericks, I think, didn't he?
He's a little bit older than everyone else, I think, on the team. Because the Wizards are like us. They've just basically been in the draft, in the lottery for a few years. So they got a lot of young talent.
Yeah, for sure. Got some more comments here. John says, Pistons fan in VA going to the game on Thursday in DC. Cade, please play. I hope for your sake, bro, he does. I don't know if how they're gonna kind of treat this depending on how serious it is, but hopefully for your sake, since you'll be in the building, we can get Cade, to get us a dub. So shout out to you. And be well. So he was also there tonight and will be there Thursday. Shout out to you. I didn't realize you were out that way, bro.
Yeah, so many people out there. Let's go.
Hey, man, the Pistons fan base is growing, boss. It's growing, man. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get to some box scores for this game. And let's start. We'll start with Cade. He didn't play but a couple minutes tonight, but let's just go to everybody. Tonight, guys, Cade only scored 6 points. He shot 2 for 3 from the field, misses only 3 ball, 2 from the line, 2 boards, a turnover, and a steal in 5 minutes. So like we said, he went out very early in this game, unfortunately, and we really didn't get a chance to see him. So did anything stand out to you with the limited minutes we did see from Cade?
The turnover was on the first possession. Can't happen.
Right.
I don't like That's all. That's really it. He was obviously playing with her. They said that he's averaged 38 points in the 2 games that we've played. So, of course, I was
38, 10, and 9.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's like, of course, you want to see him continue to pop off. But, I was just happy, again, honestly, the fact that it wasn't knee or ankle, it definitely looked like knee to me at first. And that had me
thought it was too. Yeah.
Worried. It had me so worried. So just wishing him a quick recovery. But even, in 5 minutes to have 6 and 2, I think he was pretty much, or 6 and 2 rebounds, no assists, but he was pretty much on track for another 38, 10 and 9 game. So the pace was good, but I can't really speak too much because it was only 5 minutes. So
I'm seeing some Champagne fans here too. Champagne should come to the Pistons, give a 3-point shooting and strengthen a rivalry with the Spurs. I like the twin whose brother on San Antonio, he can shoot it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, both of them guys can shoot. Both of them can shoot the basketball. So who knows? Who knows what might happen this offseason? But for me, I don't really have much to add to what you had to say. I mean, I was just really disappointed to see him go down. I was just hoping because those averages over 2 games this year against the Wizards. I was hoping that number was going to like dramatically drop because I don't want Cade having to go get 39, 10, and 9 against the Wizards.
Right.
So it did happen.
Mhm.
It definitely dropped, but unfortunately, it dropped for the wrong reason. It wasn't because they were all getting it done together. It's because he had to lead the game. So unfortunate that he got hurt, but hopefully he's okay. It did get opportunities for other guys. I just felt like, because like we said early in this game, they were just very sluggish. It did seem like he tried to take it upon himself to kind of get the team going and get them ignited. He had a nice dunk in the lane. He was playing really inspired defense, and then he got hurt right after that. So like, he was on pace to have a good floor game. Maybe not a great statistical game, but definitely a great floor game. So once again, he got hurt, but I like how he started this game for sure because that kind of helped get the team going. So hopefully he's good, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
so guys, we'll go ahead. Anything else on that?
I'm gonna say I'm just really curious. I hope we get an update, sooner rather than later, just to know, to know the extent. I just hope it's not worse than it seems.
Yep.
So
yeah, exactly, Scooby. It's not hopefully it's not extremely serious, but it's just like take your time, because I think JD had some back spasms and he was questionable and ended up playing that same game. So hopefully it's something along those lines and nothing that's too serious.
Yeah.
Mic test time. Where you at? Where you at?
He's got.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I will come back to you, boss. Let's go now to there he is. Detroit basketball. What up, Time? Had to get you in. All right, let's go, boss, to Duncan Robinson in this game. So, guys, Duncan Robinson finished with 8 points on 3 for 9 shooting overall. 1 of 3 from 3, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, no turnovers in 26 minutes. Take off on Dunk.
Man, so many threes in his stats today. 3.3%, 3 of 9.
Right.
3 of 9, I don't love. 1 of 3, I can't be mad about because double it, triple it, it's more like 3 of 7, that's more of his average anyways. But 3 of 9 is, I don't know. It needs to be at least 4 or 5, especially the way he's been cutting to the basket a little bit more recently, and for playing for 26 minutes out there too. The 3 assists I really like. He always second in assists. Tobias had the most assists. Wow. So, but he helped carry that. I mean, some moves, like someone said, he didn't back down from the scuffle today. He was ready, but ended up not needing him. He's probably just like, okay, maybe next time. But just a little bit out of rhythm. It seems like he played a lot, but 26 minutes is but a lot of people played over 20 minutes. I don't know, not his game, but he is a 3-point shooter, and that's what gets him into his rhythm. And so only putting up 3, I don't think is just good enough, but it wasn't needed tonight either. Especially he was mostly in with the starters in the first half, and then when the starters came in to rest some of the bench guys in the second half, because we didn't really have a deep bench today with a lot of our guys that are on the G League are out on assignment. So not a good Duncan game overall, but
it just feels like the Pistons are experimenting with stuff. Like we talked about the shooting guards, giving those guys time, sitting Daniss last game so they can get time. I think it's just a lot of experimenting going on. Like it felt like tonight they wanted to just see how much he could handle as far as being a playmaker, because he was really looking to be aggressive, making plays and putting the ball on the floor more than usual. And it wasn't like they were pressing hard on him. He was just pump fake, and he was trying to put the ball on the floor just to make plays. And he was doing. We saw Cade off ball in the very beginning of the game. Duncan getting the ball off ball, getting him to him on a block. So it just seemed like they were just trying some different things, because I was seeing him do some things early in this game that he doesn't usually do, and he was doing it aggressively and doing it very with very much intent, with very intentions with it. So I'm just thinking they're just trying to see what they can get from all these guys. What can work in the playoffs? What can? It just feels like they're doing some tweaking. I'm not mad at him this game. He didn't have a huge line, anything like that. But I thought he was just they were trying to put him in situations. They're trying to put guys in situations to see what they have and what they can do consistently. So that's all I really kind of saw with this game. 3 for 9 isn't great. Okay, cool. But the 3 assists, he had most of those early. The lob pass, putting the ball on the floor, making decisions. They're trying to see what he can do when he gets in those situations. So I'm actually cool with it. It wasn't a glamorous game, but I liked what I saw as far as him stretching out a little bit and just showing a little bit more what he might be able to do for us later.
Yeah, and I like some of his moves too. As someone mentioned too, he had that nice little soft slam in traffic. And then one of his other ones was like a pump fake, a shot fake, and then a pass fake, and then he was able to roll it off. So, you know, like you said, so he's doing a couple things. Yeah, he missed an open three, but so has Malik Beasley in his life. So
yeah, but I heard him because like he hasn't really been like consistent. So like it kind of adds insult to injury sometimes when you see it more than you like to with your sniper.
I feel like it's coming off. It's because he's coming off of that 1-point game, but before he was kind of getting back into his rhythm, I feel like. So, but like you said, it's like they're trying things, and especially with Cade out and the way that the lineups were going. The starting lineup played for a little bit more together in the third. Otherwise, it was just a jumble of people. And so I do think that he understands that right now it's trying to get other guys involved too. And he's just out there to help with spacing. Because you saw him, he was out there with Huerter. And you saw him give it up to him. You saw him give it back to Sass. You saw him give it back to some guys, too, to take those shots and get into their rhythm. So I agree with what you say.
What were your thoughts on that? The night, real quick. What were your thoughts? Because they were saying they kind of want to see Duncan and Kevin run like Ron and Javonte at times.
I think it's smooth. I haven't seen a hiccup. I haven't seen it look messy or choppy. They look like they understand. They're not running into each other on the floor. The spacing's good. I feel like it looks good. And, you know, it's something like, we haven't seen Duncan and LeVert play together a lot, but they played at Michigan together. But it almost looks like you would have guessed that Kevin and Duncan had played together, that the way that they play on the floor.
Yeah, they got chemistry, it seems like already.
Yeah, so I told you, that was the one that surprised me. Again, we talked about this last time with some of these matchups where, like, we don't like LeVert and Sass on the floor together, fair, but, like, a surprising matchup is surprising rotation is Kev and Duncan on the floor together. I like it.
I think in stints it can work for sure. When you don't have a bunch of athletic guys in the court or something like that.
When you need shooting,
you can try it. Right, when you need shooting, But go ahead, continue, because you were making a point before we talked about that.
Oh, I don't remember it. If I was, I don't remember it. But mostly just basically, I get it. Like when you miss a wide open, things like that. But it's and especially coming off a 1-point game, but he wasn't, he wasn't detrimental to the team, and I don't think he wasn't necessarily a part of our getting back ahead of everything, but he definitely helped keep it close and helped us get, maintain a 6-point lead going into half. I would say his more impactful half was the first half, which was the worst half. So take that with a grain of salt too. So
right. Dev says, "What up, though, man? I really hope Cade is okay. I'm sure he will. He's got to take his time and be ready for the playoffs. I'm going to the Lakers game. That's going to be lit. Yeah, man. Yeah, keep us posted on how that looks, man, for sure. All right, guys. For me, with Duncan, it's just I'm just looking at other things he can do right now. It does bother me when he misses shots. Somebody said it they said Beasley spoiled us. Chris said Beasley spoiled us. Yeah. Expectation level is too high for Duncan. I just want him to make him if he's open. Like, just the consistency. We always talk about the consistency, guys, consistently playing in the role. I know, you're not always going to knock down shots, but you're the sniper, bro. And you were brought here to be that. So it's like when you're open, we need you to knock him down. I think, over the course of the season, fans are kind of just like seeing a lot of missed threes from him. He's made a lot of shots, made a lot of tough threes, but it's just the consistency we want to see. So that's what I'm looking for with him. But like I said, I wasn't really bothered by his game because it seemed like the game script, at least with him, was to just see what he can do with the ball in his hands more, give him a little bit more rope, put a little bit more on his plate, so they know what they can go to if they need to. So, but I like what I saw from him overall. So let's push it, keep pushing. Let's go to Ausar Thompson in this game, boss. Tonight, guys, Ausar finished with 6 points on 3 for 7 shooting overall, 7 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover in 27 minutes. So what did you see tonight from Ausar?
I didn't like his first half. I didn't like it. I feel like, we gave grace to him last time. I'm still going to give him a little bit of grace because then it was kind of thrown with Cade being out, just some things. But the defense needs – I need defensive Ausar back, and I'm just a little bit worried because I've talked about all season how he kind of goes on roller coasters with consistency, and he was on such a good stretch of just great defense, great takeaways, recording, more than 3 steals a game, 5 steals, 6 steals at one point. No, I think Jenkins got 6, but 5 steals at one point. He was just like on a really good stretch. And then this injury happened and now he's back and he's just definitely, it doesn't look like himself quite yet. And I'm just hoping that he can bounce back pretty fast. Cause like I said, sometimes on the roller coaster, it seems like it takes him quite a bit of games to get back into where he's comfortable. I think he definitely, but I do think that he picked it up second half. So half to half, he made some good adjustments. He crushed it on the boards. He had our second most boards behind Duren tonight, so that I got to give him props for.
Yeah, for sure.
But in 3 of 7, he took a jump shot. He got to the rim a couple times. Only 1 turnover, 5 fouls. Yeah, I mean, I think the most glaring thing to me just for Ausar is that there was no stocks, no steals, no blocks. Because this is a young team, and yeah, they have shooters and stuff, but they're a young team that makes mistakes, that read the ball a little bit. Just felt like some of it was a little bit of sloppiness. He got 3 fouls quickly in the second half, which don't want to see a repeat. He got into foul trouble in the Knicks series last year, so we don't want him to get in that mindset of quick spurts of fouls. So I appreciate his rebounds. That's where I'm at, and I just hope that. I think he did better than he did than last game. And now I just hope that he looks even more like himself next game, because that's all you can ask is improvement coming off of an injury. So
that's all I think it is, though. I think he's just still trying to get his timing back. When I see no stocks and 5 fouls, that tells me he's not in a rhythm. Like, he's just not having a good game. So before he got hurt, I thought he was playing the best ball of the season, as far as just being that clamper defensively and then just finding his way offensively. With the skill set that he's given right now. It's not like he's just transformed his game offensively, but I feel like coach and I feel like he has just found spots and ways to be effective offensively, whether it's just off-ball movement, finishing. He just really kind of started to hit his stride a little bit with his skill set, kind of getting closer to that ceiling offensively of what we can expect based off his current skill set. And it seems like now, as of right now, he's not really that effective on either end right now. So to me, it just tells me he's just not in sync.
Yeah.
Like, defensively, he was doing a lot of things that he normally does just with his sheer athleticism and just his will. But it's just timing. You can see his timing is just off. Like, he's jumping on the first pump fake instead of the second pump fake. Like, just little things that he normally hasn't really been doing. So I just think he just needs another game or two just to get back into that rhythm defensively. I'm not worried about Ausar at all. I'm really not. I really think he's going to be just fine. And I think it's going to be right at the time we need him to be we still got 14 games left. So he's got time to get back into that rhythm. So I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I do want to see him at least improve, 20-30% from this game to the next one, because it's against the same team. So we should be able to improve on just little mistakes, little adjustments from now to then. So, but I agree with you. Like, I think, we got spoiled there with him for a little bit. I've been like, no, he's locked in on defense. He's doing great. Like, he's getting to the basket more. So just to come back into rhythm, like you said, and hopefully we just, like I said, 20-30%, if not more. I think 20-30% at like kind of the very least. He could just look completely back to normal, back by himself next game, record 4 or 5 steals again for us. So
right, yeah. So we'll leave it there, guys, on him. Let's keep it pushing. It's funny, we're talking about how a lot of these guys play subpar, but we still won pretty convincingly, which is a good sign. I know it's the Wizards, but it's always just nice to be able to have a team that can still get it done despite.
Well, you know what? It's also because 68 of those points, so over half were from our bench, and we're on our starters right now too. So.
Right. I mean, because think about it. Like, JD scored 36 tonight, and the rest of the starters scored, let me see, 12, 20, 26, 32. So despite despite once again the 68 bench points, it makes it easy to overlook that, right? So once again,
bench plus Duren is over 100, right?
It's exactly 100. 68. No, you're right. It's 68 and 36. That's 104. You're right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. It pays to have a deep team. That's why you don't trade it all away. Anyway. All right, boss. Let's keep it pushing. Let's go to Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris, guys, in this game finished with 12 points on 4 for 11 shooting, 0 of 2 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 6 assists, and no turnovers for Tobias Harris, and 2 blocks in 27 minutes. Boss, take off on Uncle T.
Yeah, both of his blocks were in the first half when we genuinely needed defense, so I appreciated that from him. The 6 assists is huge. The 5 boards is huge too. That ties for third most of the game. I think the biggest thing is just 4 of 11, which was 0 of 2 from 3, and then a couple, I guess, maybe at the rim or something, because it felt like his classic post-up was pretty good. I said he was in the 86th percentile in the NBA for that.
Really?
Very good at post-up shooting. So
as far as like field goal percentage or something?
Yeah, I think just as far as like efficiency as a post-up
Okay.
shooter, he's in the 86th percentile, which is high.
That's
So
pretty good.
yeah, it is at his Unk's old age, but yeah, 12, 5, and 6 is usually, pretty good for Tobias, and he could have had more. So I expect this, but for more of those shots to fall, to go closer to 7 of 11 or even 6 of 11. So that's really all it is. Just a couple of shots could have fallen. He made all of his free throws, only 2 fouls, no turnovers. But yeah, the 2 blocks, he was JD did have 1 block, but and then Jenkins had a block, so he had half the blocks on the team. Tobias had 50% of the team's blocks tonight, so I props to him for that. I think he just, again, tries to step up in moments, but this was a very young team that ran fast, so he did have struggle on defense. But overall, like I said, I didn't love our defensive rotation in the first half regardless, but this was a team that was tough for him to defend. So those 2 blocks, he was still trying to make it count where he could.
Yeah, I was encouraged by what I saw because it seemed like he, as a veteran, made the adjustment once Cade went out.
Yes.
It's almost like he understood that we needed to get not just scoring, but a lot of other things. He was like, okay, this might be a utility night for me where I'm just doing whatever I can to help this team win. The 5 boards, he's usually a pretty good rebounder, but the 6 assists and the no turnovers and the 2 blocks, that's what I'm looking at. Only 2 fouls. To me is look, because it's a quiet 12. Even though he only had 12, it felt like a very quiet 12. If you watching the game, you're like, he scored 12. He was just very quiet, very efficient, knocking down his free throws, taking good shots. He missed a couple, but just just playing very under control. Yeah, just very efficient, Megamore. So that's what I like. But for me, it's just the defense. I always talk about the defense and why I want to see differences in that lineup. But it's like, he gave us a good effort. It's the Wizards, so we can't go crazy, right? But still, just doing what needs to be done based on who's available and making the adjustment when needed. And I thought he just made the adjustment with his playmaking, because those 6 assists, he probably don't have that if Cade is playing, right? Even though Daniss played well. So it's just like, I just like his ability to be able to recognize and make the adjustment, because he can do a lot of different things with this team. It's not just the post scoring. It's not just, he can do a lot of little things that we don't always see. So it's just nice to see him be aware of the situation and kind of adjust his game based on what we needed.
Yeah, and we've seen him, I think when Stu was out with the suspension, when both Duren and Stu were out, he had like 10 or 12 rebounds. Like, he just steps up where we're missing. So I think you're exactly right. Like, and that's really what you can ask for a bet. Of course, like, we've had, the defense has been a topic of his that's just not on his strong suit usually. So of course it is cool to see 2 blocks from him, but I think overall the biggest takeaway is the assists, because he just understood that they subbed in playmakers, but he just really helped slow it down. And again, with like 0 turnovers in a game where they were getting back on defense pretty well, the Wizards were like you said, pretty good. He even had a lob, which can be a turnover. It's like
his lob's been hitting lately, man. Them lobs been hitting lately. I don't know what's going on. Somebody working with him. I don't know who. But Fred Vincent, Cade, Daniss, whoever.
They said, you're not dead yet, Tobias. You can still learn in this league. You can
we still
grow.
Got 14 games in playoff run, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll leave it there on Tobias, man. Good game from him. Solid overall game. And now let's move to the player of the game, boss. Jalen Duren, guys, tonight. Monster game. Career high for him. 36 points on 13 for 17 from the field. Very, very efficient again. Here's what I love, boss. 10 for 11 from the free throw line. Y'all know I've been on him lately about them free throws. 10 for 11 is what I'm talking about. 12 boards to go along with it. 2 assists, 1 turnover, and another block in only 30 minutes. How many games this year, guys, has he recorded more points than minutes? Because this is starting to become a thing for him now. Like it's kind of getting crazy. But go ahead. Take off of what you saw from JD tonight, boss.
Yeah, the 30-10 game is awesome. And here's the thing is, like, I look at this and I see, only 31 minutes, but he knows he's going to play them again on Thursday and they're lacking a center. And he was 13 of 17 and he was very aggressive on offense, but you can tell that, especially, some of the people critiqued his arms in the air, things like that. If he's genuinely annoyed by that, then I would expect him to come out even more aggressive and just make sure the ball goes in. And, so I could see him even beating this on Thursday, which would be incredible. Obviously superb game, but I also liked in the first quarter, he blocked Champagne's 3-pointer. It is the one that caused the air ball to go out of bounds. And I just love that because, again, we've been wanting him to pick it up on defense a little bit. And I don't know how many, like, he doesn't have many perimeter blocks. He did it very well.
Right.
And again, as we start to get to the playoffs and we face teams that have perimeter shooting and perimeter defenses, I think obviously we have guys who can do it well, like Ausar, like Ron, like Wu. But when you have bigs that can shoot, like Vucevic, who is on the Celtics, and Mobley, who is on the Cavs, and Cat, who's on the Knicks, you want to be able to have a big that can match up out there and pressure them. And so I just appreciated that from him, to see him, get that block. I'm sure it felt good for him as well. So, so I think that overall it was pretty good. And he really just made Gil was like his matchup, and he really just made it tough on him offensively. I can't really speak to his defense. So I don't really have complaints about it. He was at the rim, 12 rebounds is fantastic. So it's excited to see what he does on Thursday, because somehow, even though this was a career high, it was like a quiet career high. I didn't realize it was a career high for him till like later on, because there are just some out of sync moments just as the team. Otherwise, he definitely should have gotten some foul calls. I agree with the people, and I agree with him. I think that sometimes when he's up against smaller guys and they just smack him on the arms and he makes the basket, I don't know why refs just let that happen. They're like, well, you're bigger, so it's fine.
It's the Shaq syndrome.
Exactly.
Shaq syndrome.
So it is a little bit of, and he did make his free throws. He did make 10 of 11, which is great. So can't really necessarily complain about not getting to the line, because he did get there. But yeah, fantastic night. And honestly, truly, congratulations to him on career night. I'm sure he's going to get the belt, because it's a career night. But yeah, good job.
For sure. Oh, he's definitely getting the belt tonight, for sure. Yeah, he was a man amongst boys. Like, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Without Alex Sarr being available, AD obviously is not available. The Wizards' big man, they're not equipped to deal with him. They're just not. So every time I see a matchup like this in front of JD, where he's got the advantage, I'm expecting him to see food. Like we always say, food all day long, right? So he did what he was supposed to do. Last game against the Raptors, he did struggle a little bit. He was outplayed by Jakob Poeltl. So I was expecting a bounce back game from him and him to do what he's supposed to do. About 6th 30-10 game this season. That's impressive.
Wow.
Now we know
I challenge him to that.
yeah, exactly. That's something maybe he's watching. Who knows? But definitely, we want to keep in mind and keep in perspective who it's against. It is the Wizards. They don't have a lot of big guys, but you got to play who's in front of you, right? So we still want to see him improve, week over week, game over game, all this stuff. But it'd be worse if he wasn't having these kind of performances against teams he's supposed to. Then it's a problem, right? So the next progression is just doing it consistently. But he dominated, man. He dominated the paint. They couldn't stop him. But I liked his two-way play as well, boss. That's the thing for me. It's his two-way play. There was a sequence in I think it was the second quarter, where he had a nice finish off of a Daniss Jenkins pocket pass off the pick and roll. And he finished, and then he sprinted the other way because the Wiz tried to push off the made shot, but he sprinted the other way and got the block shot on the other side. So once again, I've talked about that. Like, I want to see JD not getting caught behind the play and letting his guy beat him down the floor. Even off made baskets now, we're seeing him still sprint, trying to get back and defend the rim. So the two-way play more than anything is what I'm looking for. The free throws, the scoring, congrats on the career high. But for me, it's always the defense. If he's bringing that, and that's going to allow him, regardless of if Cade is playing or not, to be able to score, because it's going to feed him. And evidence of that is that think about it. He recorded his career high with Cade going on the first quarter. So even though it is the Wizards, even though they don't have a ton of big guys, that's still 36 points, bro.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear any more rhetoric about, not saying he is the de facto number 2 option, but I don't want to hear any more rhetoric that he can't score on his own, especially in matchups like this when he's just so much bigger and stronger than everybody. He's shown he can do it. I don't know if you rely on him being that when you're trying to win a championship. Who knows? But once again, it's not just where he's just reliant on Cade, and it's only the pick and roll, and it's only the lob threat. He can do more. He's shown he can do more. So for him to do that tonight without Cade being there for 90% of the game, I think that speaks volumes for him.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like you mentioned, of course, like you want it, like this is absolutely the outcome that should happen when you're against a team that has a 6'7" guy as their center. But I also want to just highlight that he also only got 2 personal fouls because foul trouble could have taken him out of his career high possibility. And when you're playing against that many guards and everything, you know, I think he's being a little bit smarter on that end. Did a lot of guys get by him? Yeah, but
they're smaller, like they're wings, like we were saying.
And he could have, you know, made one of the fouls was the one that was he thought he was straight up and he was just a little bit forward on Champagny. So it's just a slight tweak. It wasn't anything egregious, no just slapping down, no reach-ins, things like that. So that just also just says a lot too, because you don't want it. He knows that Stu's out. And while we know we have B-Ball Paul, he doesn't want to put B-Ball Paul in the position to have to play starter minutes because he got into foul trouble, especially against a team that he knows he can run over. So just want to highlight that as well, because it is a mental thing too, to make sure that you're not fouling. As much as guys got around him, they could have, gotten around him and he still made a last minute dumb decision or something like that to get the foul. And
that's true. Yeah. I mean, because there was a lot of rotations tonight, a lot of switching, because the Wizards were moving the ball. So you would see JD get switched out to the big and move his feet. Right, like he wasn't getting called for touch fouls because he's reaching, because he was trying to stay in front. Guys who were smaller, shorter than him, they're supposed to get by him. So for him to still be able to hold up defensively, still protect the rim, but not get called for a ton of fouls, that's impressive. That's impressive on him. So, all right, guys, we will leave it there on JD. Heisenberg said he shouldn't be called for that foul. Yep, on that and one. Classic said I'm good with him getting starter minutes. It's good to know we have it.
You just don't want to
have it for sure.
Right. You just don't want it if you don't have a backup to him. Because I'm pretty sure Tolu was on assignment today. I could be wrong.
No, he was there. He was there.
Oh,
he was there.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another thing. I hope he stays there too, because I want to see him get some run late in the season. But
that's why I'm kind of bummed, because I think Chaz and Wendell and Isaac Jones are all on assignment.
Yeah.
So since it's an away game, I don't see them being available for next game either, because they're not just going to fly out a couple G Leaguers for a chance.
You never know, but I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But I think it's just more likely that they won't be available. And a game like today, especially with the lead we had, I was kind of hoping if we maintain that, we would see them. But hopefully, we can just, with this, we're developing kind of our, obviously our starters within our bench, and then kind of like our second bench. And then, so that's just going to help us even more, going into the playoffs, to just really just for everybody to get a chance and a feel and just vibe with the group.
Yep. Chris says Duren will be hitting threes in 2 years. Patman says his left hand is getting so much better. Yes, his handles and touch around the rim is coming along well. I'd love to see him train in the offseason with Kareem or Ewing. And that's one thing Greg Kelsey said too, is that like he has some nice finishes with his left hand tonight. Even last game too, left-handed dunk while he got fouled, avoiding them knocking the ball away. So yeah, like he didn't have that coming in. So once again, I got to give credit to Coach Bickerstaff, who JD said kind of took him under his wing and worked with him individually all offseason starting last year, something he never had in the NBA before JB. So I think they deserve a lot of credit for that. Coach Potapenko, all those guys just who have really developed him, and all those guys, but developed JD into the guy we're seeing kind of evolve into now. So shout out to them for sure.
Agreed.
So, all right, guys, we'll leave it there on JD, and let's go to some reserves, boss. Let's see how the bench unit looked tonight, all 68 points of it. So, guys, tonight we'll start with, let's start with Paul Reed. Tonight, guys, Paul Reed finished with 10 points. Yeah, 10 points on 4 or 5 shooting, 2 or 4 from the free throw line, 4 boards, 1 assist in 13 minutes, boss, customarily. So what did you see tonight from B-Ball Paul?
What I saw was just a difference in his physical play. He always plays physical and he always plays big, but I guess more so on the offense. Like he would get the ball at the top and just decide to drive it and just bodied his way to the basket. I mean, he just played very physically and he was in there for the boards too. And it's funny because, I always say he makes a mistake early and you immediately see he fouled. He got
to get it out the way, and then he can go to work.
Early, and he was like, "Oh God, like there it is." I'm so like, he feels so bad, and so then he turns it on. So I think
what happens more, him doing this or JD doing this?
I gotta still go with JD doing this, because every now and then B-Ball Paul is a little different. He either does this or he does this or he does this.
He covers his face. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
it's hilarious.
But he, I think he just picked up on the fact that they don't have a big. I think Vucevic on their team was a little bit. He's their backup center, but I think he was bigger than Gil. But I mean,
Okay.
B-Ball Paul, I think he's like closer to 6'8", 6'9". I could be wrong, but B-Ball Paul just didn't get intimidated. He just kind of ran them over. He was aware of their center situation as well.
Yeah.
He missed a couple at the rim, which would have just increased his. He missed one. He was 4 or 5. So, 2 of 4. He missed 2 free throws in a row.
Yeah, 2 free throws
in a row. That's like the splits are like don't want to miss them, but when you miss both, it's like, oh man. And they were cheering so loud, they must have gotten free something. But 3 of his 4, 3 of his 4 rebounds were offensive. So love that. Only 1 foul, no turnovers. Like he's a guy that I have said that he's someone that I can usually count on 1 turnover per game just for trying to do the extra step. But yeah, obviously great game from B-Ball Paul, and I want to see more of him. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, he played 30 minutes. Okay, yeah. He played 13 and JD played 30.
They went without a center for some minutes. I think it was more so toward the end of the game.
I was like, what? I was like, that's
played
not
those other minutes, yeah.
So
I think they had like Javonte as center or something for a couple minutes or something like that late in the game.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. So I don't know why, because I would have rather just had 17 minutes of B-Ball Paul action, but I'll take it. And we'll see it again on Thursday for sure. So yeah.
That's all. Yeah, that's my only thing with him. Like we talked about JD having so many games where he has more points than minutes. Same for Paul Reed. There's so many games he has so many more points than minutes. And not even just that, his impact is always there. His impact is always there. I think Super Mortimer was at the game. He said, great vibes down in DC. Just got back from Capital One. So many Pistons fans in DC. I didn't realize we had so many Pistons fans in DC. I didn't realize that. Fun game. Minus Cade getting Molly banged up in the first quarter. Detroit basketball. Yeah, man. That's surprising. I really didn't realize that was a thing as far as a lot of DC fans showing up. Or Pistons fans in DC. I didn't realize that. That's dope. That's dope, man. We can definitely see the Pistons fan base is growing for good reason. We got some bandwagoners coming on, but we'll take him. Yeah. But I like what I saw though. I thought he was good. I thought he was good. Yeah. He's always going to play the same way, and it's kind of like Heisenberg said. Just like JD, like the game plan doesn't change regardless of who's in the game. At the center spot. Yeah. You got to take this. Go ahead.
Usually when don't you think like, I don't know, there was just something a little bit different. Like he always plays the same way, but usually if he catches the ball in the paint and there's someone in front of him, he'll just shoot it because he can make those mid-range. But today it just felt like every time he had the ball up high, he just took it in. And I think, did he record any assists? Because it just felt like when he got the ball, he had 1 assist. When he got the ball, he was like, I'm going to go to the basket, which I love that. And yes, we do see that from B-Ball Paul, but it just felt like today it was like, as soon as I saw him catch it, you could just see in his head that he was like, I'm not even going to pretend to shoot it. I'm not going to give it back out. I'm just going to run this guy over in front of me.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if they know or not. They still have to stop it, and they can't. Right. So shout out to our dog, Evany. What up, though, bro? Hey, let us know your thoughts on this game tonight, bro. I didn't get a chance to come over tonight, man. I was taking notes, trying to do right by the community over here. But if you guys ever want to check Eric out, Evany with the clutch points, beat writer over there, make sure you check him out on his channel, I think on YouTube, and also he's on Live Assist. You guys can watch the games back. I think he does all the road games on Live Assist, so you guys can go chill with him, hang with him. But definitely our guy, and appreciate you as always, bro. All right, boss. Let's go now to Daniss Jenkins. Let's go to Tink in this game, guys. So tonight, Daniss Jenkins, guys, finished with 15 points on 4 for 9 shooting, 2 of 2 from 3, 5 for 6 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 7 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, and a block for 3 stocks in 20 minutes, boss. Take off on what you saw from Tink in this game.
So here's the first thing about Jenkins is when I didn't see him play in the first and I saw Sasser and LeVert come off the ball handle, I thought that it might be another Jenkins-less game. Not because of anything Jenkins did or because he fell their rotation, but just because, once again, it was a shooting guard thing. And we couldn't really test that or see that because Cade got hurt and Jenkins came in for him later on. And obviously,
therefore, he had to play.
Yes, exactly. There, so and he made the most of it and looked like good old Jenkins. He hit his first 3, which was the first shot of the second quarter. And in the fourth, he had a really nice step back three midway through the quarter. I was like, that looked like sass right there. Like if you know how they'll be like, guess the outfit on NBA or something and they black it out. Like if you blacked it out and it was just a step back, I'd be like, that was sass, but it was Jenkins. It just looked really clean. His shot looked really good. 2 of 2 from 3. So yeah, he made both of his threes. The other ones were just in the lane, where it just seemed like the Wizards were not only to shut down our big guys, but kind of made it tough for other guys to penetrate and get to the rim. So obviously 7 assists most of the game, which is what you want from your point guard. Incredible. And also, like you said, 2 steals and a block. The 2 steals came later on. It was great in transition. He also just really understands, just like Cade, they're both so good at, if someone gets a steal, they're so good at immediately getting out in front of everybody to grab that ball, to give them an outlet so that they can be the ones to bring it up. Him and Cade just really seem to get out in front of everybody, even if they're not the ones to grab the ball or to force a turnover. So, very happy for what I saw from Jenkins. Didn't mind the tech either. If the reason he pushed them is because the refs weren't intervening. The refs didn't see it until the push. So I'm cool. Because then you're just, they're just like, you're not going to let Trey Johnson get in front of you and, talk to you.
No.
So it was funny. My mom didn't realize the game was on. I guess it's on Amazon in Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wait a minute.
They listed it as like a national televised game on certain channels. I think it's some East Coast stuff. So
she's able to the NMNT or something like that. That's the acronym that they have. Yeah.
Yes, Monument, I think, MNMT, yeah.
Right.
But she caught it on Amazon and she didn't realize it. And she turned it on right before that plays and she's just like, oh, Jenkins, and I was like, nah, that was deserved. That's fine. We're cool with it. So, and if there wasn't a shove, if they had noticed it before, I think it would have just been a taunt on Trey, but they didn't. So not mad about it. And just love the physicality. It feels like, especially, we've had the suspension, obviously, but since then, it seems like everyone's trying to keep a cool head, which is totally understandable. But we've gotten into a little bit less of the scuffles and the techs. And so I don't, like I said, I don't mind that from Jenkins. That's just Detroit basketball through and through.
Of course.
Yeah, fantastic game from him. It was really nice to see him. And I think, again, we'll definitely see him Thursday. I was curious to see if we would see him without Cade getting injured, but again, he really stepped up and still in only 21 minutes. I think he'll get more on Thursday, depending on how we start the game. So, yeah.
I wasn't surprised by anything. When I saw that, when they said that Cade wasn't going to return, I was like, well, Daniss is about to get in and he's about to play a lot of minutes and he's about to probably have a good game. It seems like whenever he doesn't know he's going to get called upon is when he seems to really just show out. I don't know why it works out like that, but the day of he finds out. But I thought he was really good. His defense, of course, leading with his defense, as he always does, just making it very uncomfortable, pressuring full court, creating turnovers, just being a pest defensively is what I love about him, just bringing that mindset as soon as he comes into the game. He even got a steal in the backcourt, I think, to start the second half, just out the gate, right? Yep. So defensively or offensively, too, he was great. You mentioned how he's always getting in front, just pushing the pace. Him and Cade are always, even though they're different styles or stylistically as far as how they play the point guard position, Cade is more, ethical and methodical with his movement and not getting sped up. You can't slow Daniss down. Like they're the completely opposite, but they both do what coach wants. They both push the basketball off rip. Every outlet, every board, every missed shot, every turnover they're trying to push. So I thought that was great. And then in the half court, I thought he ran the pick and roll with JD very well. Like we usually see Cade and JD. It's nice seeing. You can tell that in practice they've been getting reps in with Daniss and JD as well because it looked very smooth. The pocket pass was right on time on target to JD for the nice finish. Like it's just nice seeing interchangeable guys being able to do different stuff. So for him to come in and for there not be any drop off, the way he was setting the table for these guys, the way he was taking care of the basketball. I think last game combined, or the game before last when they both played, Cade and Daniss had 22 dimes and 5 turnovers between the two of them, 22 and 5. So taking care of the basketball is something I expect to see when the ball is in either of their hands. So I thought he was great. I thought he played. And then the thing too is like he's always, for the most part, had a good handle on how to balance offensively as far as setting up guys and getting his own when it's there. I thought he did that as well, as far as knocking down the first 3 ball he had, even just getting downhill and bumping out Trey Johnson, a guy who's bigger than him, just bumping him off like he's a little guy and getting to the rim for a nice finish. So I love how he plays with force. I love how he plays with pace. I love how he does it on both sides of the basketball. And I love when he makes plays like this. That's Daniss Jenkins, man. Like, I just love how he always brings it on that end, and he's going to make you very uncomfortable. And if you're not careful, he will swat your shot. So these are all the reasons why we said we wanted to see him on this team even before he was a consistent two-way player here. Like, even last year, we're like, man, the things he can bring at that backup point guard spot can be very, very valuable. And so it's the Wizards, but it's not, for me, it's not just his game. This is who he is. This is how. So if he has a couple of bad shooting games, like he had, a week or two of, not great play, I'm never concerned, because I'm just gonna wait for him to snap out of it like he always has done. All the talk about the contract and has he fallen off since the contract. I hope you guys can see that it's not even like he's back. He didn't go anywhere. It's just all players have stretches in the season where they don't play well.
Right.
But for most of the year, he's shown us pretty much what we saw tonight. So I'm not surprised by any of this, boss, to be honest.
It's the Wizards. But Daniss Jenkins went undrafted, and Trey Johnson was picked 5th.
He was 5th?
Trey Johnson was the 5th pick.
So there's that chip again. Now it explains why he got into it with him, the same way he gets into it with Reece Sheppard, who went 3rd. Okay, now it makes sense.
I don't know if there was the same draft year, but, what was the draft year?
Last year.
Okay, so
I think, he was 24.
So 25. He was the 5th pick of 25.
Yes.
Okay.
Even still, though, it's not even about the year. It's just like he wants to prove all these high picks ain't really that much better to him.
He's going against young lottery picks, and he's doing better than them. So it doesn't matter that it's the Wizards. It's guys that were deemed more talented than him, regardless. So he absolutely killed it. And again, he's had, the Wizards is the team that basically elevated him, at least within this fandom in the NBA. National broadcast game where he hit that game time 3 to send it to overtime.
Right.
That at the very least woke up our fans to him that didn't know about him prior. So I just love that he continues to show out against them.
Yeah. So like I said before, man, I still think, Daniss sitting last game had to do more with the Pistons, just trying to see, who we have with what we have with Caris and Sass and Huerter. I think is more so like, okay, we know DJ is going to be the backup point guard. Now let's go ahead and shore up these other spots so we don't know who's going to be that guy yet. So Daniss Jenkins is a backup point guard. It's about getting consistency, elsewhere. And I think he, it's crazy how he only played tonight because Cade got hurt. I think it's good for him that he got a chance to play, though. I'm glad that he got a chance to play, and we still got to see those other 3 guys at the same time. So the fact that it's not a bad injury for Cade is like, all right, I can live with that. But I just hope this silences now everybody who was saying that Daniss is regressing and he's chilling now that he got paid. Like, I hope all that noise can stop now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it'll be really curious on Thursday, because I still think that Thursday will be once again, a shooting guard battle. I think we're going to play 12. I mean, without Cade, we're down to 11 in this lineup. But if we add Tolu to it, it's back up to 12, So we could play our full roster of healthy guys. And I'll be curious to see how they do off of Daniss now. We get to see, because that, I think, just adds to because they're all backups and they're all going to be mostly playing off of Daniss or with Daniss regardless. Obviously, sometimes with Cade, but more consistently with Daniss. So that just adds another element to who vibes best when Daniss is on the floor, who helps Daniss get his shots, who helps Daniss play make, who screens for him, things like that.
Right.
So
exactly. Yeah. Fact is, he wants all the smoke, bro. Ain't no friends. What did Russ say? Ain't no friends with my teammates in the basketball. That's kind of how he plays the game. It's the same way. And you can be disruptive mentally with that thought process with some guys. You can kind of get under the skin of some guys, kind of get guys out of character, like we saw him do with Tyrese Maxey, who's a star in this league. And when they faced off, you saw him getting in Tyrese Maxey's head. So it's just something about having that kind of mentality, that nasty dog mentality that our guys have. It just makes you uncomfortable. Just kind of takes you out of who you are, and that can affect how they play. So yeah, man. We'll leave it there, guys, on him. Tom is back in the building after leaving for about 15 minutes. Welcome back, brother. Uh, what up, though, my baby? I'm screaming. Hey, y'all go check out Tom's post. That's hilarious. He made a post. He didn't know my baby was a Detroit thing. That seems like my baby. He's like, guys, say that to guys too. Well, yeah, bro. It's just the formality. It's how we express our, you know what I'm saying, our love. So
He's gonna
I gotta get used to that one.
Detroit.
Bro, when you get here, you definitely gotta say that at least once.
Yeah, you're gonna be the most Detroit Korean in South Korea. They're gonna be like they're gonna be like,
Tom,
for Detroit.
Tom, have you seen Rush Hour? Let me know if you've seen. We talked about this before. If you've seen Rush Hour, let me know, because it's a joke in that movie that I want to share with you that reminds me of when you say that. So let me know if you've seen it or not. If not, I'm gonna put you on game. But it's hilarious. All right, guys, let's get back to this game. Let's get to Kevin Huerter in this game, boss. Kevin Huerter, guys, in this game finished with only 4 points on 2 for 7 shooting overall. He could not throw it in the ocean. 0 for 5. Sheesh. 4 boards, 3 assists, 1 turnover in 22 minutes. So, boss, what did you see tonight from, what is that, Velvet?
Obviously, you would have liked to see his little streak of 2 threes a game or more
continue.
But it didn't, sadly. He had some good looks. I liked what he got at the rim. I appreciate everything else he did again as well. But yeah, 2 of 7 shooting and then 0 of 5. That's not going to get you the backup shooting guard. But what will get it for you is your spacing. I think he stayed in front of guys very well. He only had 2 fouls. 3 of his rebounds were defensive. He just had a board presence. In the first quarter, he got a defensive rebound, and then an offensive rebound. Then he got a defensive rebound and pushed the ball all the way up the floor for a score.
Right.
I really like the way he handles the ball. He's not someone just based off of the eye test that he does have a turnover in this game, but he just looks like he takes care of the ball well. Like he just, sure. So, and he had that after he missed 2 threes kind of on back-to-back possessions, or maybe a couple of possessions in between, but in the second, he had that really nice reverse layup. So he's just trying to get it done. He played. It wasn't bad for the game. I just appreciated him on the floor. He was another guy with size. Again, the spacing's really well. He had 1 foul that it was like an offensive foul when it was a screen. But whoever he screened flew. So I can
saw that too? He went flying. That was hilarious.
I was like, you don't see Duncan, the guys running into Duncan like that, even though he's bigger. Like Kevin must be a brick. Like he flew. Yeah,
I saw that too.
So I
looked like when Cade pushed Javonte Castle or something. I was like, bro, what in the world?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, not mad at the box score might not reflect as much as the eye test did. He seemed fine out there. Again, I do just appreciate his spacing, and I do like it when he's on the floor with guys like Duncan. Yeah, just a bummer that he did make a 3 after the whistle. That's
so annoying.
I know.
I hate seeing that when the guy's like 0 for 4 and there's a swing pass and there's a foul call. Like, come on, bro. Come on, man. What we doing?
Oh man. So he's coming off of a couple games where his 3 shot has been more reliable. So I'm not gonna get too mad at him for 0 of 5 because he was trying to get it up. But now the test is, I hope that he can find it again, at least a couple times. At least once, in the game on Thursday is where I'm at with him.
He couldn't throw it in the ocean. He had a couple that were clankers. Like last game, Caris had a clanker. He had a clanker tonight. I was like, man, oh man. I don't know if it's what Derek is saying or not. Derek says he passes up a lot of looks. I'm not sure if he's trying to fit in, and that has him passing up shots, or he's not confident in his shot. And that's what I was saying before. Like, I want him to just let it fly. Like, and we've seen the last 2 games, he's let it fly. Like, Derek, the last couple of games from what I've seen, like, he's not waiting for the swing. It's just he catches it. If he's got space, he's going up. So tonight, I didn't see that as, like, he was, but it kind of felt forced tonight as opposed to just letting him come to him in rhythm. What's up?
Well, you know what that might be is the fact that we lost Cade. And he just reverted a little bit back to, I don't want to hurt this team further.
Because he's not comfortable playing with Daniss, you're saying?
No, I don't think it's not comfortability. I think it's just like Tobias kind of knew what to do when Cade went out. And I think what Kev did was just try to get us back. He tried to contribute, but then once his shots weren't falling, I think he was a little bit hesitant because now we're down Cade. I don't think it's you can throw him in with Jenkins, which you did see him tonight with him. But I think it's just more like, maybe just a little bit reverted back to, I don't want to harm this team.
That's possible.
Kind of thing.
That's true. No, that's a good point.
Because he was looking very well off of Cade, and then even off of Sasser and LeVert when they took over. I think it's just more about, I don't want to hurt this team because, he's been here long enough. He understands the impact, but he's also still new here to the point of, Cade is our best player. So when you lose him, it's like, well, it's a little bit tougher. Like
for sure. Yeah.
Our guys have definitely stepped it up, like obviously, but we've talked about teams he's played with in the past. Like, and if you had Giddey and Kobe White both out, you were kind of out of luck on the Bulls, Yeah. And so not that I think that he feels this way about that team, but he's still new enough to have that at least in his head a little bit. So I could just see that a little bit.
No, that's possible. It's possible. He has been trending in the right direction lately, so I'm not going to trip too much, especially since you made a good point about Cade not being there. That's a good point. He did have a nice reverse scoop at the rim. Did you guys see that where he had to it was like the Michael Jordan, it wasn't like MJ, but when MJ went up and he went under and he went around and then he went off the glass, he had one similar to that tonight. And once again, he's just showing off that athleticism, that sneaky athleticism that he doesn't always show off because he just plays very systematic basketball. His game is very simple. Right cut, right pass, right decision making. He's just trying to make the right decision. So if he gets a chance to show it off because he has to, then you'll see him like, oh, I know he had that to his game. But he's just trying to play very smart, very simple, and just make winning basketball plays. But that reverse scoop was nice. That too, Chris. Early in the game, he got a rebound and pushed up the court. I didn't know who's that. Yes, that's him. He's sneaky. He's sneaky athletic. That's what I'm saying. So like that's kind of what I mean as far as he kind of brings that overall game as far as what I think is going to work best. But yeah, like I like that. That was nice flash he showed offensively. But defensively though, again, I thought he was good again. The way he guards without fouling, he's really good at guarding without fouling. And he forced the Wiz into some tough misses, some tough shots, some bad shots. He also does a good job of boxing out and rebounding for a guard. A few times he had a guy sealed and the guy's grabbing his jersey, they're not calling a foul, and he's still going and grabbing the rebound. Like, so just the little things we always talk about, just being that connector, just being that guy who can make winning play. Yeah, exactly. Super Marty, you saw it up close. Yeah, for sure. So like just the little things that he does very, very well as a connector, as a winning player. A lot of Javonte Greenish type of stuff where it's like it may not show up, but he just makes little plays that really can help this team get a good shot, get a turnover, get another possession offensively, prevent them from getting another offensive rebound. Just the little things. I think that boss is going to be the reason that he ultimately is that guy off the bench at shooting guard, because he, to me, just has the most well-rounded game. He said Sass has the best ability to score. We says Caris probably the best ability to defend. Huerter's just the all-around, maybe not the best at any of those things, but he can do so many other things well that it kind of trumps the things that he's not as good at, right? So that's why I feel like he's going to be the guy at the end of the day who comes out of it with that spot, but we'll see.
I mean, he was the first one subbed in. So, and Heisenberg here says, aside from him missing a lot of open threes, he's not doing anything that hurts us out there. Hustles, rebounds, putbacks, defense, just like you said. And again, when you have a guy who, I mean, the league is probably aware of his three-point shooting struggles, but they're not necessarily going to risk it, especially if he can drain one or two early. Then he does have an open path to go to the basket too. He can keep defenses on their toes. Somebody else mentioned how moving without the ball and tiring the defense. He's just not predictable enough right now. Because we've seen him catch it at the perimeter and decide to drive it in, just like we've seen Duncan do the same thing. And that just ultimately benefits us when it turns, and when they're on the court together, you can have one of those guys do that and then have someone that they can kick it out to confidently as well. So, but yeah, I do agree. He still is, as much as I love Sass's threes and LeVert's defense, like he is someone that I would be, perfectly fine with, earning that backup shooting guard position first off the bench.
Backism said, boss is invited to the cookout with the knowledge of the game, period. You already know, bro. You already know what it is, man, for sure. Let's see, what else? So some of you guys still like Caris over Huerter. That's interesting. So, let's go to Caris next, boss, since that's who you guys are talking about now. Let's go to him. Devon says, I don't want LeVert or Huerter next year, to be honest. Package them for a starter. Okay, so guys, let's get to Caris LeVert. Let me see. Where is he at? Here we go. Caris LeVert, guys, tonight finished with 10 points on 3 for 5 shooting overall, 3 of 4 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 boards, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, and 1 steal in 21 minutes. And before you tee off on Caris LeVert, boss, let's go ahead and see who you guys thought the unsung hero for this game was in the poll, right? So who do you think won the poll? Between Tobias, Ron, Caris, or Tank?
I'm going to go with Daniss, and Ron would be my second pick.
Daniss won round 2? Okay. So let's see. Daniss Jenkins is 61%, and Ron Holland is second at 16%. Okay. So you hit it on the head. Tobias is third at 15. Yo, boss knows ball. Tobias is third and 15, and Caris LeVert is fourth with 9. So with that, boss, shout out to you for getting that right. Like, you did a little extra. You added a second one, and that was right too. I see you. Okay.
I know. All right, but give me. They know it too.
Oh, we all know it. Let's get to Caris. What you see from him in this game, boss? What stood out?
I feel like a little bit of a slow start again. I think that's when one of his turnovers happened. He blew a defensive thing. He didn't get finished at the rim with a no whistle or anything. It's just contested. But I can't complain. 3 of 5, and then those 3 being 3 of 4 from, which means he only got to the rim once.
Maybe the best I've seen him shoot from 3 this year.
What I'm saying, yeah. 3 of 4 from 3 is awesome. And only 1 foul, which is great on defense. 3 assists. I think that was the 2 turnovers were both, I believe, under the rim again. It's just, I think that the rim presence was just extra heavy today because of, again, they didn't have a big, so everybody collapsed on them, and they're young and fast, so they were able to get back quick. So
you gotta make quicker decisions once he gets into the paint, though, because it was when niggas pack like that. If you can't just dribble in there and expect the B to come out. Come out with the ball.
Like I said, I think that where his assists usually connect the best is when he does go behind the basket and drops it into whoever big is there, Duren, Reed, Stu. But tonight it was just too crowded for that.
Right. Exactly.
Like you said. So otherwise, I think he adjusted well. His threes looked good. He kept the guys off their feet, kept a couple guys off their feet. He was just quick. So yeah, probably one of the better games I've seen from Caris. I still think, 10 points is fantastic for any of these shooting guards. Huerter, Sasser, LeVert all scored under 10 points, which is fine. It was very spread out tonight. But if you're going to be our backup shooting guard, I want to see closer to 12 to 15.
That's fair.
Maybe closer to 12, but he could have gone there. But I can't complain about Caris tonight. So
I can't either, to be honest.
I think it was Jamoke, who I know never been a Caris lover or an Ivy lover, but when
does he like any shooting guard on this team?
Right? He's a sass.
Right, of course. That's why he don't like nobody else. It makes sense now.
Yeah, okay, he called you out for having Caris on the pole, but Caris did things out there. His threes were also timely. They kept the lead high. They grew it. It was nice.
No bias here, man. And when we always say when they don't play well, we call it out. When they play well, we call it out. No favorites.
You gotta do game by game. So
exactly, it's fluid, right?
Yes.
It was an uneven game. I thought there was more good than bad for sure. Definitely more good than bad in this game. It's just I just want to see the steady, consistent. You're gonna have turnovers. You're gonna take bad shots at times. Yeah. But when it happens so frequently is when I'm like, it's just so up and down with him sometimes. I'm gonna give him a pass like I did before when he first got back. He's still getting back. I thought the first half of last game was the best half of basketball I seen him play.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like that they're trying to have him be more aggressive. He's playmaking here and there, but it's like they're trying to get him in spots now where he can score.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to see. Right. So I know it was tough because he didn't play with Daniss all night. Sometimes it was Sass, sometimes he was the point guard. So I'm not going to kill him on that because we always say he's best when he's playing off ball. So what I saw wasn't bad. He had some great moments. He had some bad moments. Michael made a good point that he had some he made some nice passes where guys just missed shots.
True.
Right. It still to me doesn't seem like it's the most natural fit with him on the floor. It's like they're getting it done. But it doesn't feel like it's a natural fit. It still feels to me like Huerter's just the most natural fit, even though he shot 0 for 5 from 3 and Caris shot 3 for 4. It's just to me, it just feels like it's a better flow with him in the second unit as far as just the offense is concerned with the ball movement, the player movement. It just feels so much more fluid when he's out there. Maybe that's just me, but that's just kind of how it looks to me. So at this point, once again, if Caris continues to give us this kind of production like he is the last 2 games, giving us the defense, and he's somewhat consistent, I think he can keep himself in that conversation. But I still think as of right now, despite Caris shooting 3 for 4, despite Huerter shooting 0 for 5, I still like Caris more so with that second group personally. Just not talent-wise, just as far as how it looks with everybody else.
You mean Huerter? You said Caris.
Yes.
Okay.
My bad. Yeah, Huerter.
I do want to point out too, because I do agree, but I also want to point out, because this has been a thing of contention with some people, that even with Cade out, Caris had the second, of the guards, Jenkins, Huerter, and Sass, Caris had the least amount of time. He was pretty tied with Jenkins, but Huerter had two more minutes. Sass had 5 more minutes. So people, are saying he's playing his favorites, but Sass and Huerter checked in before LeVert today. I don't take that out of the equation a little bit as well, because that's usually like, why is he getting all these minutes? But of that group of guards, he got at least tonight. So I just want to also point that out. But I do agree, there's just something in the flow and the way he plays that's a little bit. And I do want to see him. When Sass was in with him, Sass was the main ball handler for most of the possessions. But then they just kind of pass it between each other. But yeah, I just don't. I think he does thrive the best when, because a lot of his threes weren't necessarily, maybe a couple. I think at least one of his threes he was passed to and he pulled up to shoot it. The other ones he pulled himself into. But yeah, I do agree. There's just a little bit of just not meshing with our style of play. But it's
not terrible, but it's just like it just doesn't feel. It just looks better to me with Huerter on the court. To me.
Exactly. Did he record any? Okay, he did record a steal. So that I got to give him props for as well, because we just commend him on his defense. And when you're pulling up a stock, it's just putting it on paper, showing it on paper. So yeah, I agree. I think, like you said, the first half of the last game was really good. And then today he started slow and got better as the game went on. So now hopefully we get the best of both worlds on Thursdays, and he just starts good and stays good, or at least stays consistent. Because I think that's just what it's been to, is in the game, it's kind of a mixed bag. And when he starts slow and gets better, you can kind of see why JB still calls on him in the second half sometimes. And so we just want to see him get off to the first half start that he had last game. It definitely seems like getting benched and pulled from some mistakes has made him, try to make a few better decisions out there. I'm not saying it's still a good fit, but it does look a little bit better, at least.
Yeah.
I don't think he's, like you said, he needs to either get rid of it earlier, but I don't think he's dribbling himself into trouble as much as he used to. So we'll just see. I'm curious to see now, just I'll have to put down some observations and things I want to see from him on Thursday and see if he can hit those marks. And I think the main thing is just, he has a couple, like you said, just stay a little bit more consistent and hopefully not make, I don't know. For me, my biggest thing is just starting off well and staying consistent. You don't need to have the game of your life, even though that would be exciting, but just had the first half that you had the other night, and then don't completely fall off. Have a consistent second
just
half.
Be steady. Just be steady. I'd rather him average 10 points, 2 assists, steal, block, whatever a game than 18 and then 3 and then 15 and then 4. Just reliability is so important in the playoff games. When you're just consistent, that's how you win games. He's had some bland food. He's like some bland food when you're hungry. You'll eat it, but there's something that's better. You hungry, bro? Sound you need to go take a lunch break, bro.
Oh, funny.
All right, guys, let's go to the third guy of this shooting guard bunch off the bench, and that is Marcus Sasser. Guys, tonight Sass finished with 9 points on 3 for 7 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3, 1 board, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers, and a steal in 25 minutes. Boss, what did you see tonight from Sass?
Man, 3 of 6 was still 50%. It looks good. So all of his shots. So he had 1 drive that wasn't a 3. So I'll take it. I'll take the 3 of 6 from 3, even though I know he can even do better. He just looked like he was getting confident again as the game went on. The turnovers, though, is just ugly. I don't want to see that. I think 2 of them were on inbounds.
I know one of them was for sure. Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah, and I think if the second one wasn't, it was at the top. It wasn't, because I can't quite remember. I don't remember any necessarily ugly passes, but yeah, I do remember the inbound ones. And then so kind of cancels out the 4 assists, which was the second most to Daniss, which is, again, Sass was the main ball handler at first. When Cade went off, he finished out the first quarter. And then when Jenkins was resting, it fell on Sass. But and also the fouls, he was being aggressive. I appreciated it. He got his 5th foul with 7 minutes left in the 4th. So I'm not too mad about that. But if you're when you're draining shots like that, and if this was a close game, you don't want to get into foul trouble. Yeah. And a couple of the later fouls were more just fouls from defending well. And the first couple were fouls of just, whether it was his guy who got by him or a bad rotation, he just stopped. He just grabbed the guy or hit him so that he couldn't get the shot off. He was just, and he called it out, stuff like that. So you can tell, like, tonight, defense was a little tough for him. But like I said, later on, once like we've said, how Ron's and Wu's defense kind of influences their offense, Sass's offense influences defense. So I think the fouls later on was just him being aggressive on both ends and just getting the whistle on certain times. But yeah, you can tell that his size was a little bit of a factor today. But again, as a guy who's playing 25 minutes and you get your 5th foul in the 7th and the 4th, like, playoffs are going to be a little more of that slower pace. People are going to go to the free throw line more. So I'm not terribly mad at it, but I would like to see that happen closer to, 5 minutes left in the game or 4 minutes left. 7 minutes is a little bit too long. If it's a close game and you're one of our guys that's hitting their shots, we don't want to have to take you out. And luckily it wasn't a close game. But
facts.
That's my only thing with him. It just kind of sucks because it felt like it was his best rhythm offensively, whether it was passing or playmaking or shooting. And then other things just got in the way. So just like we said with Huerter and LeVert, they all kind of had their positives and their negatives tonight.
Yep. I kind of feel like Marcus got put in a bad spot tonight, to be honest.
Okay.
We said it already. I'm gonna say it again to reiterate. LeVert is the best defender of the 3, right? Huerter is the best all-around guy of the 3. And Sasser is the best scorer of the 3. Yeah. Sasser is not a point guard.
So true.
He's not a point guard. That contributed to why he had 4 turnovers. But between the other 2, between Sasser, Huerter, and Caris, Sass is probably the best option to put at point guard if you have to when Cade isn't available, because Daniss can't play 48.
That's the other thing.
So once Daniss is your only point guard, you either got to go with Sass, LeVert, Huerter, like maybe Ausar, who for that second unit, it's got to be one of those 3. So it puts Sass in a bad spot because out of those 3, he's probably the best option, but he's still at a disadvantage because he's not a point guard. So it's like either you put Caris there or you put Sasser there. But either way, it's not going to be a good look because Cade is gone. So it's Daniss and who?
Right.
And they decided, well, we know Huerter ain't a point guard. Caris ain't a point guard. I guess Sass can try to play point guard. Let's see what he can do. And he gets out there and doesn't look like a point guard, which is why he has 4 turnovers. So
and why was
that's what it was.
Yep.
Right. He was just put in a bad spot with Cade going out. They tried to put him in a spot that was best with what they had, but still not best for him. That's why he had the 4 assists and 4 turnovers. Like his assists, most of them came in transition when he's pushing the basketball because it's easier to score for anybody. We've seen Tobias get assists like tonight in transition. We've seen other guys pushing. It's easier to get it that way. And when it's in the half court, you got to run an offense. If you're not a point guard, it's harder. So we saw most of his assists coming in transition, but the bottom line is he's not a point guard. So that's why you see him get put in that spot. And you see him turning the ball over. You see his lazy inbound passes. You see him not being able to orchestrate the way Daniss can because he's just not a point guard. So I feel like he got put in a bad spot because of the injury because you had to go somewhere at that spot with Cade not playing.
Agreed. And again, even though Jenkins and Sass has been a backcourt that people have been hesitant to play because of their size, I think it could have worked tonight with just both of, especially Jenkins's aggressiveness on both ends. But we didn't get to see it because they were basically each other's backups. Like they were who subbed in for each other. I just want to get to this too from Guy Gobert. Can AT run the one like his brother? Not like Amen. Amen is definitely Amen's a point guard. Like that is his position. But Ausar was challenged with that earlier on this year. And then they kind of took it away from it and let it come a little naturally, I feel like. And he's definitely gotten better. I trust him more with the ball. And I trust him running plays, but especially with where his confidence is at right now, trying to get back from injury. I think we might see that him and Jenkins run off of each other on Thursday if Cade is out, which he most likely will be. They might, try to get Jenkins off ball a couple of possessions and we'll see AT run, but he's not quite He's definitely not a men level one, because that's not his position. So he's something.
Even going back to OTE when they played for the overtime elite, like Ausar was the wing, Amen was the point guard. Even going back then, like they've just kind of played those two spots coming up together. So I think it's easier to translate for Amen because he's used to having the ball in his hands. You know, even though they're struggling right now, he's more equipped to play that spot because he's just had more reps and more time and more years playing it. So I won't say Ausar can't, but I would probably prefer him not to if we had to or hadn't. Michael says, but he technically is supposed to be. No,
this is about Sass. This is about Sass.
Oh, Sass. Okay.
Oh,
no. He's never really been a point guard.
He's
never been a point guard. Yeah, he's always been a combo guard. If he was 6'4", 6'5", nobody will be calling Marcus Sasser a point guard.
Yeah.
Nobody. He just kind of gets pigeonholed there because of his size, because he's not big enough to guard twos.
And we had to rely on him. He was our backup.
Right, Michael. Exactly. That's more like it. Go ahead.
Yes, but he is. We had to rely on him. Us as fans might have seen him as a point guard because the first time we saw him was coming off of when Cade was injured. He would come in sub in for Ivy as the backup point guard, who also is
right.
So we just have a couple guys playing out of position. So I'm kind of bummed, like you said. The shots are great. So if that's just something he can get into rhythm and continue to do, there's going to be some mistakes just because he isn't, a playmaker, but he is obviously fantastic at creating his own shot and shooting off ball, catch and shoot, step back threes.
That's his game.
If he just get that going, like if he consistently is getting 3 to 4 threes a game from here to the end of the season, then to me that tells me he's warm. And whether we decide to go with him as our immediate backup or not, it's someone that we can rely on, like we have in the past, to throw into a game to help get us some scores. And when we do that, it wouldn't get the point guard position.
Yeah.
So
I want to get to this too. Mike says in the offseason, and this is something you talked about, boss. This is something they were trying to get, but they were trying to get him to grow into being that point guard because we already had that. I think they were trying, because you could even see it, like even before JB got here and Trajan got here, he was a scoring guard. Even going back to Houston, even in college, he was a scoring guard. He's never really been a true point guard. I just felt like they knew the only true pathway to him having consistent time in the rotation here was at point guard. Because once again, I say all the time, Trajan Langdon likes size. He likes size. So he's not going to have one of his main guys in the rotation be an undersized shooting guard. He's like, well, if anything, let's see if he can try to transform it to a point. It's going to be a struggle for him some nights there, but not every night at the point, as opposed to the two. So let's see if we can kind of transform him and mold him into being a point guard. Because to me, he was never going to be a consistent shooting guard here. Not with Trajan Langdon running the show, because he wants size. So that's why I felt like this season they were trying to encourage him and work with him to be a point guard so he can kind of work his way into that role, since he isn't the biggest guy and doesn't give you that versatility that Trajan Langdon wants.
Well, and I think that if the injury did set him back, because he get it? Was it his injury? Did he develop it in the preseason? But it was a long injury, and then by then we were already rolling, so they were just kind of
basically, I guess his body wasn't responding to the treatment real. That's what it was, and to set it back because he was in recovery, getting treatment. His body wasn't responding to it, so that put him out even longer.
And then go ahead. Daniss step up, and the need for if Daniss wasn't an option, then I think that we would have seen Sass try to be developed more into a backup point guard, because who else would you have?
Or maybe you make a move to go get one.
Right.
Because he's still not a point guard. So it's like
exactly. But I do think the preseason did have me excited because they talked about it. Stu and them did talk about it, at the Sass, you're going to be impressed with his development. So I definitely think
Mike. That was said for sure. Go ahead.
So I definitely think it happened and it was a goal. And they just kind of stepped away from it once first of all, the roles didn't need to be filled anymore. And second of all, Sass didn't really get much time. He had a couple games good games in that streak that we had a lot of starters out, and then we just didn't see him much. So now they're just trying to fit him in where needed, because he still has proven himself valuable to this team. And so now it's just more about getting your shot warm again. He is the guy you can call up whenever. But now in the playoffs, you want to, if you're going to be called on consistently, you want to consistently be able to produce. So,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, yeah, Mike, he can do point guard things, right? But he's not a true point like a Daniss Jenkins. Exactly. 100%. All right, guys. By the way, NB well, Atlanta is on fire. They've won a 10 or 11 straight.
Have you seen though that it's like they won 9 games in a row and just are still in ninth? It said something like they were in ninth place in the play-in, and then they won 9 games in a row and are still in ninth place in the play-in.
It's like you hear that, you to the standings like, oh, there they are.
Yeah. Oh man, that's too funny. And the Hornets demolished the Heat today. The East guys is fun. The Cavs almost lost to the Bucks.
It is. But, the East is very fun. All right, boss. We got 2 more guys. Let's go to Ron Holland, and then we'll hit Javonte, and we'll call it night. All right, guys. Ron Holland in this game finished with 11 points on 4 or 5 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3, 2 from the free throw line. Great shooting night for him. 5 boards, 1 turnover, and 3 steals for LeBron in 15 minutes. So another highly efficient game again. What did you see tonight from LeBron, boss?
Oh man, I just loved it. It's always just like 11 points and 5 rebounds, 3 steals. That's reflective, but that's still a good stat line. But like when you see what he's doing on the court, you just expect it to be better, like to be like a higher numbers, just because he just seems so impactful, you know.
Impact.
I love the stat that Kelser said that 26% of all of Ron's points come on the fast break, and that's 4th in the league. And I tried to look up what the other 3 were, and I just could not find it. I could not find that stat. It was more just like total fast break points, stuff like that. So I'm going to try to keep finding it because I'm really curious on who above him has a higher percentage of their points being fast break.
Good question. Yeah.
He had an offensive board presence. That his tap away led to his tap from the offensive board led to a JD dunk. And then he got a block on their Vucevic 3 on the other end. In a second, he had a
Vucevic with a K. It was a weird spelling.
I just say Vucevic because I think it's pronounced the same as Vucevic.
The same? Okay.
I think.
All right. I was curious.
The knockaway to a run out dunk in the second. In the third, he switched his 3, but that was from the top of the key. I see right here, real quick. Boss was right about
first class.
3, LOL.
Bro, no, you hit that on the head. Yeah.
He needs the board. But this was a swish. This was a swish.
It was. And it looked confident too. So I'm just like, bro, give us more of that, bro. Like this up and down, man. Like once he gets that, man.
I was someone who, and still am, when I shoot free throws, I use the backboard. It's right there. You know, it's fine. I'm okay with it.
Not on threes, though.
Why not?
No. From the top? No. I
love a bank shot. I think they're beautiful. Because you're like, oh, it's too far, and then it hits the glass and goes
from
in.
From the angle, like Tim Duncan style, yeah. But at the top of the key.
I don't know. I have a math mind, you know, with my stats and stuff. So my math mind is like drawing lines to, you know, when they hit it up high too and it falls down. Like,
you're like that meme with all the different equations, like all flying around everywhere.
You got that angle going. You can see the angle too, you know. Anyways,
appreciate your first class.
Huh?
I said appreciate your first class, Kings. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, thank you. In the third too, he scored at the basket and then hustled all the way back for that jump ball opportunity. That ball. That was basically like he had it, but it's okay. Jump ball is fine. So yeah, obviously, you know, 4 of 5 from shooting, and then 1 of 1 from 3 is awesome. He made his free throws, 3 fouls, and 2 of them, you know, he probably didn't commit or argued against. But loved the game from Ron. Again, it's just so funny. Like he in 15 minutes, like. And just the impact that he has out there. And now you guys see the last game, I was like, doesn't his ponytails look like that guy on the Wizards? And I thought it was Coulibaly, but it's Trey. Trey just has longer ones. They had the same hairstyle. I'm like, see, like they had the same hairstyle out there. But that was great game from Ron. And just as the exact kind of team I expect him to pop off against because a bunch of other young, hungry guys. So excited to see him again on Thursday. Really good. Obviously, Ron always plays consistently, and tonight just seemed like to be one of his better games that was just paying off for him and what he was doing.
I agree. Devon says boss probably has handles. You might have to put a video together. Show us some handles. And
I don't have
She
handles.
nipped that in the bud real quick, y'all. She's like, don't play with me. Don't play with me.
I told you I was more on defense. I led my team in steals, and I had a nice jumper and rim.
I might have to challenge that when you come back up. I might have to snatch them ankles real quick. We'll see. Challenge that defense you're talking about. We'll see.
Oh, fine. I can do that. But then I can only.
We might put a little reel together for y'all.
I'm then gonna look like Tobias running it up the court, dribbling it on the side.
side dribbling. Oh man, blowing a tire. Super Morty Man says Trajan was at the game tonight. Saw him a few times on the sidelines. He looked very proud, very proud of his team. Good vibes from our GM. That's good to hear. Fat Kism said Pippen was great with using the square in the back. Guys, who do you think has the best bank shot in the history of the NBA? Let me know who you guys think. We ain't gonna poll it. It's just off the cuff, and we'll come back to it. But you guys let us know who you guys think that is. I have my idea. I may have already said it, but let me know what you guys think. Okay, boss. Let's go to anything else on Ron? No. Okay, so there's a few things I saw about Ron, right? So I thought he had a pretty good game. The immediate offensive tap to JD for the putback dunk was what he did as soon as he came to the game. You talked about him getting on the glass. He couldn't grab the ball, but he got a hand on it to JD for a nice dunk. Just the effort plays.
Yeah.
Caris turned the ball over on one play, and Ron didn't give up on it. And he stayed with the ball. He was active with his hands. He came up with the steal, got it right back, and had a nice I think he had a nice steal and finish on that. But yeah, he dunked it. And then he hit the 3 ball you mentioned. I hope he keeps shooting it. Just keep shooting it. That's why you're working on it. And then the last thing, the only negative is that he had a couple careless turnovers. Like he had one where he grabbed the board and he outlet it too quickly.
Oh,
and he didn't see the defender, and that ended up being an and one on him trying to defend. Yeah, exactly. So just that kind of thing. But just a little bonehead play. Doesn't happen too often with him. He's playing hard. He's bringing it. So just the communication a little bit better. Just taking. I know he wants to push. So he's trying to get it out. I get it, right? And I like that he's even trying to outlet. But just find your guy. Take your time. You guys are still faster than most teams. So even if you do take that extra split second, you're still going to be the good opportunity. So aside from that, I thought he was really good. Let's get to who you guys think though has the best glasser in the history. We got a lot of comments on that one. Yeah. Okay, we got Duncan, got Sam Jones. Okay, so they're asking for the real boss. I'm gonna have to see if you can lock me up or not. Okay. Tim Curry. Okay, Tim. So a lot of Tim. I'm surprised nobody said the legend from San Antonio, Iceman. No George Gervin. That's surprising. I do think it is Tim Duncan, but I'm surprised we didn't see George Gervin, who was just shot maker, the Iceman. He could shoot from anywhere. He was in all those horse competitions back in the day, going against Pete Maravich, just taking crazy shots from the ground and all kind of stuff. So I was surprised I didn't see the Iceman. But Timmy's probably the best. He's probably. He said we ain't that. What you trying to say, Devon? What you trying to say, bro? You ain't that much younger than me. Let me call you out your name.
Just don't know who Gervin is.
You know who George Gervin is, bro? Man, y'all got to do your Googles on George Gervin, bro. What? San Antonio? Y'all making me feel old. That's dirt. Sheesh. Okay. Yeah, he was just thank you. Somebody. Thank you, man. He was but y'all go look up some George Gervin film, man. He was nice. He was super nice with the Spurs. Iceman. Shout out to Iceman. All right, boss. Let's go now to our last guy of the night, and we will call it a night. And that is, guys, Javonte Savage. Can you woo Green? Guys, Javonte Green only played 5 minutes tonight. He had 3 points on 1 of 5 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, 2 boards, and that is it. And once again, only 5 minutes, boss. So what'd you see in the limited minutes we got from Javonte Green? And yes, Super Morty, yes, George Gervin, born in Detroit. Man, y'all should know this. Man. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, let's get to Chris real quick here too. Mister, okay. I took 5 shots in 5 minutes and was off, but my man Caris did pretty good, coach. Yeah.
Mister, you don't need me tonight, coach.
He was missing threes, but they just kept feeding him. And I feel like he was out there asking them to. I feel like he was like, no, guys. Because there was 1 3 that he shot and I saw him back up and it went off the front of the rim. Like I think he thought it was good. It was going in and it didn't. And so he had to make up for it. I think he felt like he had a good stroke tonight, but just couldn't. His shots weren't falling. But it was nice to see him once he did get it in. And other than that, like 2 rebounds again in 5 minutes is huge. But it's 5 minutes. You can't really judge it. I'm kind of curious why we only saw 5 minutes from him, just with the fact that, we could, like, especially towards the end of the game when they were kind of coming back, you want to slow them down. But also, again, I just kind of attribute that to coach, just some of these other guys that don't get a ton of minutes, just kind of staying out there, challenging them to finish the game strong, figure out their assignments. Kind of no need to bench a guy necessarily in the last 4 minutes unless you think you're really in trouble, which we've also seen coach just even we are in trouble, we've seen coach keep guys in and be like, no, you gotta do it. So always and I don't like a 5 minute stretch from Wu. He's one of my favorite players on the team, obviously, but I can't complain. We played 12 guys tonight, and everyone else played 8 minutes.
So here's my theory, right? By the way, let me get to these quick Iceman comments. Classic says Iceman has the coldest nickname. See what you did there. Okay, I got you. 313 Kurt says, if you don't know George Gervin, you're a casual with all due respect. Devon says he talks like a Detroit still today. Check out Soul Power. Yes, sir. That commercial with George Gervin. Yes, sir. Okay, so some of y'all remember. Okay. I ain't mad at y'all. See y'all. Here's my theory, boss, when it comes to Javonte Green. I'm looking at the box scores, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the minutes. And I'm looking at the guys off the bench. To me, Paul Reed is going to be in the rotation for the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
To me, Javonte Green is going to be in the rotation for the playoffs.
Yes.
Right? And to me, Ron Holland is going to be in the rotation for the playoffs. Those three guys. And then Daniss, of course. Right? Yeah. Those three. So I'm looking at the numbers. Aside from Daniss' minutes, because he only played a lot because we had no other point guard when Cade got hurt. But you look at Paul Reed's minutes, you look at Ron Holland's minutes, you look at Javonte Green's minutes, they all played significantly less than the three shooting guards in question for that backup spot. They all played less than Caris LeVert, Kevin Huerter, and Sasser. So let's go through it real quick. Sasser played 25. Huerter played 22. LeVert played 21, right? Now let's go to the guys who are solidified in the rotation. Paul Reed, 13. Ron Holland, 15. Javonte Green, 5. So once again, to me, this tells me that they're using these minutes. They're getting the guys who really aren't solidified as having a role yet. They're giving those guys the most minutes. Just to see. Because the other guy, we said the last game with Daniss Jenkins. He didn't play because we're trying to get who? Those three guys more minutes. So he did play tonight because he had to. So what's that mean? That's why Javonte Green only gets 5 minutes. That's why Holland only gets 15. That's why Paul Reed only gets 13. They're trying to get these other three guys as many minutes as they possibly can, so they can have as much data as they can as to who's going to solidify the roster further and the rotation further. That, to me, is what that says.
That's just a great point, too, that I just want to take this moment to remind everybody that, might have been frustrated with some of the rotations in the last few games, tonight included, is that we're not going to just leave defense on the bench for the playoffs. Like, when you look at Holland and Green and their minutes, like those guys come to mind as great defenders. You throw in Paul Reed, those guys are part of the dog pound. They're great on the boards. They're hustle guys. They're momentum shifting guys. Yep. So they're not being punished or anything. So it should also just reiterate the fact that, like, this is just purely narrowing down a shooting guard role.
Yep.
Because we will become more consistent. And I honestly think, I'm not sure. We have how many more games? 15?
14 more.
14 more. Okay. I'm going to say the last 3, depending on, unless we somehow give the Celtics, get closer to the Celtics for positioning. I think the last 3, you get deep minutes, you get G Leaguer minutes, you rest some guys. Maybe, the starters come in for a little bit. But so then I'll say the next 4 or 5 are going to help figure out that shooting guard role. So then you got like maybe 5 games of like consistent. I think we'll get
like
about
rotation, consistent rotation. I think
we'll get about 5 to 8 games of the games remaining where we're just like, this is the playoff rotation. So that would be my guess. So because
it's just not a coincidence that Javonte's playing 5 and Huerter, Sass, and Caris are all playing 20. I'm like, okay, they're trying to.
And when, you said, and when you factor it in with Ron and B-Ball's minutes, and we're known for defense, like that's
exactly
kind of it. So I also want to say, I looked up just real quick while I'm on this. I looked up like the playoff schedule a little bit. We don't know for sure, but we'll have, with the play-in going on, we'll have about a week off before our first playoff game.
Okay.
Our last game is on the 12th, and the first playoff games of round 1 are on the 18th. So 6 days.
Got you.
But yeah.
Okay. So we'll have time once again to rest. That's going to be fun. Like to be able to just watch these teams try to vie for who's going to play us.
The East play-in
That's
is
going
going
to
to
be
be
fun.
exciting. I mean, the West has their
Yeah.
too. I'm hoping the Nuggets don't fall. They're up by like 40 on the Sixers right now, but the East play-in is going to be, well, it's going to be in stake for us because whoever comes out of that in 8th will be who we face.
Yeah, so like I think the way it goes is like, so in the play-in 7 through 10, 7 plays 8, right? And then 9 plays 10. The loser of 9-10 is out.
Yes.
But then the winner of 9-10 plays the loser of 7-8.
Yep.
And then that decides who's going to be 7-8. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets. I think it's going to be Charlotte and I want to say Miami, but the way Atlanta's looking right now.
Well, so does that mean that there's only one? So whoever wins 7-8 is immediately in.
Yes.
7. Okay. So
but then 8 plays the winner of 9-10. And then the loser of 9-10 is out.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And right now, it could be the Raptors could fall a little bit too. It's still close, but that'll be interesting to see too, because hopefully the Hornets can make it to 7-8 and win, and they can face the Celtics first and give at least at worst case tire them out. With 7 games, a bunch of that actually would be it'd be entertaining, but also incredibly boring if it's just threes the whole time. But
then honestly too, like it may be tough and this is why we're saying like the East is tough. East is competitive. It's competitive. Like even if we avoid, which I don't care who we play, but even if we avoid Charlotte and get Atlanta, they didn't win 10 straight games. They hot right now.
And the Heat too.
The Heat just beat us. So and then the Sixers have been winning games too. They're in that 7 to 10 mix. That's who the other team is.
Injured right now, and Paul George will be back by then. But
so whoever we play, it's gonna be interesting.
That's what I said. I was like, I don't think there's gonna be a sweep in the East for the first round.
Okay, I can see
really
that.
Any round.
I was gonna say West either. Like, I can see a couple upsets for sure in both conferences. If I'm being real.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
It's gonna be fun to see, guys. So yeah, man. So we'll leave it there, guys. Let's go ahead and look at the upcoming schedule briefly, and then we will call it a night, guys. So next game, the Pistons are right back at it with the Wizards. They will not have to travel for the next road game. They run it back against the Wizards Thursday night. And boss, I am expecting the Pistons to go 2 for 2 on this road trip. No disrespect. That's just what I expect. So what are you looking forward to? What are your expectations for this next game, boss?
Yeah, well, like I said, I have a feeling Trae Young will play unless they just decide not to. I don't see why they wouldn't. He is back. He's just not playing back-to-back. So that will be a test. I'm excited for some Jenkins on Trae Young. I think that will be good. We probably won't have Cade. We might need to adjust depending on how badly they want to, like how badly JB thinks we need this win. And with Cade and Stu out, I could also see him maybe being a little bit more consistent in the lineup for this one.
Okay.
Or I can also see him just being like, no, like it's still the Wizards. You guys should still win. We just played them. Make adjustments. We're going to stick with this 12-man rotation and see what happens. So. But I just hope that again we pull it out a win, and I think I just want to get off to a quicker start this game. I think again they went on a run to get up early. I think if we just nipped that in the bud, we would have been up by more at halftime. So just would have continued it on. So I think that's their biggest thing, and I could also see it getting the way it got a little bit chippy today. I could see that happening Thursday as well, and I don't know if like Koulibaly and Sar, I'm not sure if those guys have like long injuries. We might even see them. We might see some new faces there too. So it'll be interesting. So
it's going to be interesting, guys. I'm going through these comments real quick. Scooby says the Detroit crowd is a huge help for our home games. I hope so, man. Listen, we didn't win a home game last year, right? So we gotta treat it like I'm sure these guys are going to be locked in to try to win these home games. That's what they've worked so hard for this year. So they definitely will get off the schneid this year. They will not lose all their home games this year in the first round. It's not gonna happen for sure. So I say Charlotte will probably have to win 2 games. We'll see, guys. Win number 50 could possibly be on the way this Thursday, something we haven't done in 17-18 years. So it's been a long time. So all right, guys, we will leave it there, man. Great show with you guys as always, and we appreciate you guys as always showing up, showing out as you guys always do. And we will definitely look forward to the next game. Make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. And we hope you guys have a great night. Be safe. And y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. See y'all Thursday.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot, and I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that shop, you must want this way. Tryna tell ya, look the dog palm, mess around, find out, look the dog palm, mess around, find out, for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're real for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. Mess around.